In a slow and competitive market like we are in right now, if you want to get your home sold, there are three things that you need to get right. And if your listing doesn't have all of them, well, you're going to sit on the market with maybe only a showing every week or two, damaging your listing's reputation, which means eventually you are going to sell for less later on. I've seen this time and time again. Sellers overestimating their listing's potential and underestimating how hard it is to sell your property in a market like this one where only 1 in every 10 homes is currently selling. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you the 3 things that you need to get right in order to get your home sold in this market. And I'll break down each one of them so you have a better understanding about how to navigate the current conditions. And speaking of navigating the current marketplace, well, if you need help in Surrey or anywhere in Greater Vancouver, please do not hesitate to book a call with us using the link down below in the description. Then just subscribe to the channel and click the like button so I can move on to the point of this video. And that is, right now, to achieve a sale in a market like this one, I like to use the analogy of 3 pillars, or maybe more accurately, you can think of it like a stool with 3 legs. No, not that stool. Yep, that's the one. And that stool is propping up your successful sale. If one of the legs is broken, your sale falls flat. And even if one of those legs or pillars is just a little bit off, your sale, well, it will be too. So it's important that you get this right. And the first pillar is the right location. In a market like this one, location is so important. This is because buyers, if they have lots to pick from, there is no chance that they're going to pick your listing if it's on a busy street next to power lines. They're not going to pick the unit in the condo building that's above the entrance to the parkade or the one that looks out onto the dumpsters. In a slow market, location is amplified. That is why when you're in a busy or very competitive marketplace for buyers, it's important to not settle for a poor or much less desirable location. This can also then apply to entire neighborhoods. For example, areas with lots of density and high rises, those units may get snapped up when the market is hot, but in a slow market, you're going to regret that purchase, as not only is the area not that great, now there are dozens and often hundreds of other exact comparable listings to yours on the market. And simply by buying into a better location, you know, the ones that people actually want to live in and that don't rely on FOMO buying, well, those units, they still sell really well in any marketplace. This is the exact reason that when I buy properties, I stay away from density and high transit use areas. I personally don't think that people want to live in these areas most of the time. Often they end up there because of things like cost of living or convenience. And right now, if you don't have the right location, you don't have a sale. Second is probably the most obvious, and that is price. When the market shifts to a buyer's market, prices start dropping. Statistically, when only 1 out of every 6 houses per month sells, this is the start of a market that favors the buyer and the start of prices beginning to decline. But right now, most markets that I serve are firmly in a spot where only 1 in 7 homes is selling. And across the entire marketplace, well, that number is about 1 in 10. This means that prices in those areas will drop faster than we think, and definitely faster than you as the seller are prepared for. And if you are priced as if it's a seller's market, meaning above the last sale, you don't stand a chance. Because in today's declining market, the last sale was probably, 30 days ago. And the market could have likely dropped even further since then. So if the last sale of a home just like yours was $1.5 million and the market has dropped 2% over the last 30 days, that means that if you sold today, your price should likely be 1.47 or $30,000 less. Yeah, it is entirely possible that houses could be dropping upwards of $1,000 per day. So if you're not going to be on the market for another 10 days or so, and then it takes you 20 days to get an offer, well, you can do the math. You can't list for 1.5 million anymore. You can't even list for 1.479. And 1.449 probably won't even work. And it's likely you need to get even lower than that. Think of the market and pricing coming down like a pop fly into center field. The only way to catch the market is to get under it. You have to price below the current market. And pricing high, which might not feel that high, at exactly where the last sale was, this is like trying to catch a pop fly by swatting at the ball from the top. It's just not going to happen. And the last pillar is probably the number one thing that's getting most overlooked right now. You have to have your property in the right condition. Homeowners selling real estate over the last 10 years or so in my marketplace have been completely spoiled. For much of the last decade, you barely needed to wipe the pee off the seat, let alone put the lid down. The carpets could have been old, kitchens could need done, and the buyers were willing to replace the roofs themselves just for the privilege of locking up that home. Some markets were even so good that a property that only ranked as a 3 out of 10 could go into multiple offers and exceed the asking price. But in today's market, only 10 out of 10s sell. And this is the biggest issue we're seeing. Many homes are showing, okay, they're a 6 or 7, sometimes even an 8 or an 8.5 out of 10. But that right now simply does not cut it. This is because if my buyers have upwards of like 100 different properties to pick from, do you think that they're going to ask me to submit an offer for them on the house that needs a whole bunch of work put into it? Or are they going to offer on the property that is move-in ready? You know, the one with the brand new kitchen, new paint, new flooring, new furnace, the crown molding. One thing's for sure, they're not going to put up with your 20-year-old fence or your 30-year-old appliances or those windows with the blown seals. And if they are going to do that, they're going to want to be compensated not only for their costs of doing the upgrades themselves, but also their time and effort to do so. Normally we say that you'll never get back all of the money that you put into some sort of a renovation. And you know what? That's probably still true. But in today's market, if the last property that sold was a 10 out of 10, and it would take, say, $100,000 to get your property up to the same standard as that one, the buyers, well, they want not just that $100,000, they want $125,000 or maybe even $150,000 off of the price. And that's only if they're willing to take on the project in the first place. So in today's market, don't even bother listing your home for sale if you don't have these 3 pillars to a successful sale: the right location, the right price, and the right condition. And now that you know this, if you're on the other side of the equation and you're looking to buy real estate, what are you waiting for? The market is on your side. Watch this video right now that explains why you should stop trying to save up for your 20% down payment and get into the market soon. After all, this is the best market to be in as a buyer since the great financial crisis.